Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just here killing time, and I thought now would be a great time to show you guys something that I thought was cool for those of you who are like survivalists out there, or people who are just like looking for stuff to do. You want to make arrows, like I can't, but only problem I ever had was with making the shaft. That's what she said. Um, the part of the arrow that has the feather on it that makes it fly straight. That's the only problem that I ever had with the bow. I never had a problem with the arrowhead because I either just sharpened the tip of the thing till it'll actually go into the target, or I would put an arrowhead on it. And I just want to show you guys something that's like rather cheap material that's actually pretty good. It's a lot like obsidian, but it's not, because it's not really sharp, but it does like hold a mean point. And it's I don't know exactly what it's called. I think it's called shale, and it's this little rock right here. It breaks off in flakes, and a lot of times the flakes are like pointed. So like I have a little metal thing that's kind of like weighty. It has a little weight to it. Just hold it, tip of your finger, just tap away at it. Flakes will break off, and there'll be tips, bits flying everywhere that I guess you could use. You can use them to like hold it, make a knife, maybe like something to stab, self-defense. It's not really very good because the rock is very brittle. It'll snap like glass, but it's pretty pointy. So if you're looking for something that's like a traditional obsidian arrowhead, that'll splinter when it hits the target and hurt your opponent or whoever you're trying to hit, or if you're looking for something that'll go into flesh to kill a bird or something that you want to hunt, that would be that'd be good. I just want to show you guys a piece that I broke off earlier, and it, as you can see, it's not like exactly arrowhead shaped. It's more like a knife, but it's still got this little part on it. It's brittle, extremely brittle, and very, very thin, as you can see. I don't know if it's thin, and that's actually not that bad a thing, because you see this little tip right here, right? This little part that shaped like a shark's tooth. You can snap that off and just stick that on an arrowhead, and then you got an arrow. Or you can like take this little chunk off right here that's like sticking out, flaking, and you can hit it with a little metal rod that's like solid or something, and flake that off, and then you can use that as a knife. It's not sharp, but it does have a point now. It has a point to it. And I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like. So like if you ever run into like a stone like this that's just sitting on the lawn or something, you can use it. This is one that I perfected. This is a mean looking arrowhead. It's a bit thick though, is my only problem with it. It's like you can see it's kind of thickish. It's very fat headed, that's what she said. So it's not very good for like actual like target practice. It's got a point, but it's just not sharp. But it will make a good arrowhead if you can flake off a decent chunk shaped like this. Just get a shape like this, broadhead or bodkin tip or whatever you want to call it. And for those of you who don't know, broadhead is like broad, thick, shaped arrowhead like this. Bodkin's more pointy, and it's more for like penetrating into flesh and shit like that. So yeah, I just have another few flakes here that are different shapes that I chopped off or broke off or whatever the hell you want to call it. They're actually, some of them are kind of thin and hard to handle. Others are like kind of thick but very pointy. This one I think would make a nice spearhead because it's decently long, and that's what she said. And it's very pointed at the tip, so like with enough force behind it, I can stab someone with this if I could just get it on a stick. If I find the stick out in the wilderness and I'm stuck out there for a while, I got like my little box here of my little box of flakings of stone. I can put this on a decent sized staff, or if I in an area that's populated or whatever, and I find a little broomstick, I can just like take some twine or something, or glue, or both, which would be good, and just tie it around here. And I can use this to spear fish if I can get like a barb on it or something. I can use this to defend myself if I come across like a a stray wolf that's like rabbit or something, and I come across a coyote, you know, enough force, this will go in. And it's kind of thickish, as you can see. I actually tried to file it so it'll be thinner. You can see the little white marks, and these actually make pretty good arrowheads. This one in particular would make a pretty good spearhead. That huge chunk I showed you earlier could at least produce like maybe, I don't know, because like sometimes they break off in very, very tiny pieces, a lot of them. So that wouldn't be very good. But if you can get like a few decent chunks, you can get, if you're careful, you can get at least 4 of these. So if you have 4 of these, one of these snaps, you can just take it off the broomstick, re-glue it, retie it. You have a fresh spearhead. And let's see. I have 2 decent sized chunks. This one's way bigger. You saw this one already. It's still got some foliage on it from, stuck on it from when I found it. This chunk here is actually kind of slimmer. You can see the layers on it. Not to give you a earth science lesson, but you can flake this. I recommend you get a little like metal spool or like something like a thick little metal pipe. I actually have a few more that I'm not exactly in a good position to show you because like the laptop's on my lap. Obviously, I'm on my bed, so I don't want to have to get up and get it. It's all the way over there. I'm a lazy bastard. So yeah, shale, I think is what it's called. You can find this in like some suburban areas, in like the sidewalk. Sometimes you'll run across like a random pile of this stuff. Sometimes it's actually such a thick chunk of it, a thick chunk of shale, that you can actually pull little slabs of it out, and it'll be in the shape of like a broken broken shard of glass, and you can use that right off the bat. This one in particular, I've been using this one for a while. It actually was a pretty decent sized chunk before I found it. After I started using it for a while, I wore it down to this, and this is all that's left of it. So, some smaller tips, some smaller ones, like these size. These are good for like tiny arrowheads, like caveman. This one is a bit of a disappointment because it's got a nice fine point, but it's super fat. That's what she said. And it does still have a decent point. I've actually poked myself pretty hard with that thing 3 times, that's what she said. And this one's probably the closest to a perfect arrowhead that I've ever got. And I can easily attach this to the head of a crossbow dart that I have, because you've seen my crossbow before if you watch my videos. Yeah, I'm going to stop preaching now. And get yourself a little solid metal pole like this so you can flake off pieces, just, decent motion. Hold it with the tip of your finger so you get as much weight at the end as possible. Just beat at it, and, you'll get a few flakes, and hopefully you'll get something that you can use as an arrowhead.